Hello, everyone, and welcome to your beautiful right now moment and our beautiful right now moment here in the wonderful land of Bukovina. Welcome to the first episode of a new series that I'm starting right now. It's called Show Yourself. Show yourself. We're going to dive more into what this actually means and which self I'm actually referring to. So I am Lady Elleyah, and I'm joined with the amazing Lady AmiRa. And she has agreed to be the first invitado, the first
Guest.
There you go, the first guest for this series, which is gonna be like kind of like a podcast. We're gonna share ourselves.
Yes, there's some insights.
Yeah. Yeah. So AmiRa has been here in Bukovina for I think kind of like 3 weeks now,
Yes.
and we've known each other for quite a few months. We've been working together, and I think it's very appropriate to make this first episode with her because she had this thing like where she wanted to show herself. She wanted to start a podcast like weeks ago, where she would
Months ago.
months ago, months ago,
ago.
where she wanted to show herself, but she didn't, which is something very very common. But I'm gonna let her talk more about this. So, welcome first of all again.
Thank you.
And how are you feeling today? Let's make it chilly willy.
Yes, so I'm feeling good. Just for a little bit of context, I came here to do a program with Elleyah, that has involved a lot of transformations, a lot of allowing my true self to come up, to get comfortable with that part of me, a lot of letting go of my ego, and part of that actually was because after one of our sessions in which I was really very able to pierce a little bit, pierce the veil and see what's behind it and understand the nature of this reality, understand the nature of myself as well.
Yeah.
So I recorded it afterwards, for me, because I wanted to have that on record to see what I had felt, and so to be able to see it months later, or years later, and see the whole transformation. But I also recorded it in a way that I was talking to people, because I had disappeared a little bit from the radar of my friends, my family. So I'm like, okay, maybe I can also do this so that they understand why I disappeared, why I'm not answering their texts, etc. So yes, I recorded it in a way that I was like expressing myself to someone else, not only to me. And then I had this feeling that was really telling me, post it on Instagram. And I am a person that didn't have any photos of myself on Instagram. Sometimes I uploaded stories with my face, but even that was weird. Until 2 months ago, I didn't have anything on Instagram. Zero. And then I posted some things that I had written, but I didn't post my face. So yeah, this is like the kind of visibility that I used to have.
So how does it feel now that we are actually recording this and you're the spotlight? Uncomfortable much?
It feels a little bit uncomfortable. Yes, it feels like, but at the same time, because I did what I did, I posted that video that I was very scared to post. I feel much better now. Like, I saw that from having zero visibility to actually posting a video in myself with very bad hair, very bad everything, in which I was talking about how we live in the Matrix. and then I saw nothing happened. Nothing bad, nothing especially good, but nothing happened. A lot of people from my past life saw it, like I don't know, people from my bachelor's degree, people from like my family,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing really happened. The people who really, you know, accept me, like the video, the people who don't, they didn't. But
And did you
that
have
was
this?
it.
So you would you say you had the fear before that you would something bad would happen if you would do that?
Yes, yes,
Can you talk
yes.
more about that?
Of course, I felt like literally when I felt this like post it. I felt this calling to just post it, not to, I don't know, not to become an Instagrammer, no, anything like that. Just like post it so that you let go of your fear. And my first reaction, you know, from the ego was like, if I post this, I'm gonna die. Literally, I literally felt that, and I was literally feeling like that would happen.
Mm-hmm.
If I post it, I'm going to die because, and it's true
Why
because
would you? Why would you? Why do you think you were feeling like that?
part of my identity, the part of me that is very scared to post things on social media, to speak my truth, you know, to talk about spirituality,
Mm-hmm.
especially in, because we don't have, let's say, a very agreed on spiritual spiritual system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we are very off the tracks of the common spirituality lines, let's say, outside of religions, outside of um, even
So
new age.
like a fear of persecution.
Exactly, fear of persecution.
Where do you think that comes from?
Well, probably from past life, an aspect that's still holding me there from a past life. I think many people have this. From people, you know, that you've told me about, even Joe Dispenza, which is a quite
Mm-hmm.
a famous guy. I read one of his books, and he said that as well. He had like this. He remembered a past life in which he spoke his truth, and he was like incarcerated, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and
Yeah, there are a lot of past life things that are stopping one from showing themselves.
mm-hmm,
And I remember when I first when I first decided to do this also, it was after I have been going through like a lot of transformations and the dark night of my soul, and which lasted many months in
mm-hmm,
this lifetime. Probably I've done a lot of stuff in the past as well, but this lifetime lasted many months. And then at one point I just decided to start posting things. I realized how much people didn't understand what aspects were, how is it going, how to deal with everything, what comes up, and I realized how important the conscious breath is. Um, so yeah, I decided one day that I would just start doing this. It was my 10 days of abundance. That was the first thing that I started to record. And I remember that I was postponing it as much as I could. I would say, like, I feel like I want to do this. I feel now's the time. And I didn't do it that evening. And then I told B, my partner, the other day, the next day, I was like, I feel like I really want to record this. Um, I was just kind of, doubting. I felt this passion that I really have to express myself. And I was trying to get help from B, like, help me do something or whatever. And he
yeah.
was like, I'm just gonna go in the bedroom, I'm gonna lock the door, and you're gonna be out there on your own and you're going to record your video and you just gotta do it. And it was excruciatingly, I mean, it was hard to record it, but it was even more horrible to post it. To post it and not only post it, but share it. I was sharing it in the Crimson Circle groups. And after I shared the video, I just felt like I just wanted to run. I had the sensation that I'm just gonna run and I'm never gonna stop, and I don't wanna hear what people have to say. I was so afraid of what would happen,
Yes.
and um, I know I had like many of us, right? Many of us had lifetimes where we have been persecuted or abused, or, for example, a memory that I had was I was speaking my truth and my tongue was cut out.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I felt I had that memory. So obviously it was kind of hard. But all my life, I had this thing that I ever since I was a child, my mother would tell me that if there's something that is like special about you, or not special, but that I know that you're always gonna do is you're gonna speak your truth. If she would ask like, "Do I look good today?" or "What do you think of that person?" or whatever, I would just speak the truth exactly how it was. And of course, having this past lifetimes aspects persecuted and all that, I attracted in this life to be persecuted as well, since kindergarten and all that. But it's really important to show yourself. And the self that we're talking about here is actually the, let's make it like a big self, like with a capital S. It's not like the little self, ego, human identity
Yes.
aspect, but I'm talking about your true self, so your true nature, so your divinity, or what I was speaking in other posts and videos would be the transition from the ego, the identity, to the we go, where there is the human identity, but the identity that let go of control and that has accepted the wisdom and is open to life, open to your energy, because you know it's all your energy and you choose to trust yourself. And that self that is basically the passion to exist, the self that doesn't cling on to any stories, the self that has let go, that part of you which has no preference, no need, no wants, no desires, and you just are. Basically, I'm talking about, right, the I am. Show yourself. So this is what this series, I wanted to be about. Not about, okay, I mean, I'm not saying it's bad to, for people who still have this identity thing, right, and they're still into it. It's very important, of course, to show yourself in that way. But this series, like we were talking before this, would be more about honesty. And you said
Yes.
something really nice. So can you say that again?
Yeah, I said that, for instance, with me, when I wanted to record a podcast, and all I was thinking, I was like, what do I say, you know? And I was looking at other podcasters that I like and how, you know, how they present themselves, how they conduct their interviews, how they, I don't know, they structure everything. So I was trying to do it very from like a mind perspective, and also thinking a lot about, you know, other people, how other people would perceive me. But
Which is a concern of the human little self, what other people
exactly.
think, because the little human self still believes there are other people out there, whereas the self that we're talking here, like the ego, would be knowing that it's all your energy and there are no other people really.
Yeah. But related to that is like this self has to come out first to you, to your identity, to your human identity. You have to dare to look beyond, to start seeing that part of you in yourself before you can actually show it to the world. And I think this is even the most, let's say, complicated part. Um, because the human, you know, your human identity starts seeing that there is actually much more. It's a huge shock for the ego. And we're gonna try and, you know, hide ourselves, hide that, forget about it. So in my case, that was the process. That's why I was not able to record a podcast, because I was not wanting to listen, um, to that part of me, the real me. I was still living in separation, and that's why I was thinking, why, what would other people think about if I say this or if I say that, because I was still very much in separation. And then when I came here, and exactly, I started to see through, the veil and see through separation, that's when I could actually post it, even if it was at this the video in itself, it was like very low quality, but I was like, I don't care, I'm doing this for myself. I'm not doing this for anyone, I'm doing this for myself, so that I let go of my fears, and because I have seen that there is so much more to me.
And that's when you tap, basically, I mean, for me at least, it's, I tap into that passion to express myself and to just be there. And I really love whenever I record something, whenever I hold a session, I know that I am in service, and my wisdom and my divinity is just pouring through me. And also, I mean, in the beginning,
In the
in
beginning.
the beginning, what did I want to say? Oh yeah, in the beginning when I first started to hold very private group sessions on Patreon with very few people, I would be like so high after it. I couldn't sleep the whole night. I would hold a session at 7 or 8 in the evening, and then until the 6 or 7 in the morning I couldn't sleep because I was having, so much of my light coming in, because that's what I was choosing.
Yes.
And you do it for yourself.
Yes.
You do it for yourself. And also, in doing it for yourself, you do it for humanity, because whatever you choose, consciously choose in this reality, you're illuminating potentials for other people to choose it that way.
Yes.
Right?
No, I agree. Like, this has something that ever since I posted that video has come up a lot. It's like, I know most of the people that I have on Instagram don't understand that much about the metrics or whatever, but I was just having this feeling like, even if they are not going to see that, but at least they are going to, see that a girl that they used to know that was a very,
went
like,
crazy.
Yes, but she went crazy and she posted it and she didn't
Yeah.
care. So, many times I see like people around me, even who are not that spiritual, whatever, and they are scared. Even if what they are going to share is not so much of a big deal, but still, I felt like if I do this, maybe someone else will dare to show whatever part of themselves. I don't know, maybe you do music and you want to share some of your art, or you paint, or you write, whatever. It doesn't even necessarily have to be something like talk about, these very deep things. Maybe you want to share.
Yeah, because
whatever.
in the end, it's not about like controlling what you're gonna say and have 5 points or whatever. You can have like 5 points that you want to talk about, but like not be rigid about it, but allow your true self to shine whenever you are speaking. Just and how can that happen? How does that happen? How do you differentiate from the little human identity and the big self, the divinity?
There is something that works a lot that you told me actually in these days, that is asking yourself, is this absolutely true?
Oh yeah.
That was very, like, you let me know, you gave me this tip. And it's true, like, whenever you're, I don't know, for instance, you have this fear of like anything, like, what are people are going to think about me, and you say insert, and then you ask yourself, is this absolutely true? No, you don't know how people are going to perceive it. You have no idea about that.
Yeah.
But this works with everything and anything.
Yeah.
If you're thinking, oh, if I do this, X is going to happen, or this is happening to me because I did this wrong, or this is happening to me because this person did this wrong. And then you ask yourself, is this absolutely true?
And what is absolutely true?
I am that I am.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know this comes up. I mean, when I came up with this question, I was actually doing the dishes, and B was annoying me with something. I don't know what it was. A recurring something. I have this aspect that I'm washing more dishes than him, or whatever, It's like a fucking aspect. But I was my nervous system in that day was very unregulated, because I was going through a lot of transformations, and I was very highly irritable. Irritable. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was just washing dishes, and I was like, and then I was like, okay, this does not bring me joy. I'm choosing to be in the joy of life. So whatever I'm thinking, is this absolutely true? And then no, it's not absolutely true. So therefore it's an aspect. So therefore it's just a story.
Exactly.
It's just a story. And the ego is made up of stories. The identity is made up of stories. And when you speak from your truth, from your I am, there's no storyline there. You're not attached to the story. You don't have any the sky is so beautiful. You don't have any preference, you don't have any emotion. It's not, there's no more duality, right? Because you were speaking earlier, like you were talking about duality, basically if this then that, or this happens because of this, is basically duality. And when you are yourself, when you show yourself, when you speak from your truth, there is no duality there. It just is.
Yes.
You just are. Everything just is. And everything is consciousness, basically, and everything comes from consciousness, and you are consciousness. And then when you just go beyond this, beyond any story, beyond the duality, beyond how things should be, which consume a fucking lot of energy, like you get so freaking tired when you have this aspect, and it's just, what if this happens, what if this happens, what if this happens, but oh my god, and then you exhaust yourself.
Yes.
Right? You exhaust yourself.
Very much. Yeah.
Which is serving you as well, because when you exhaust yourself, then you're finally allowing, right? Because I remember when I used to read Osho, when I was in high school, there was this thing that stuck with me, and he was like, I'm giving you all of these tools and all of these practices to do so that you get fucking tired and exhausted, and that when you let go of everything and when you're really exhausted, that's when it's gonna happen. That's when it's gonna come to you. You don't have to exhaust yourself.
Actually, I was going to say that that's what happened with me when I decided to post a video finally. I had spent like 2 or 3 days really having this huge debate with myself, like.
And what happened with your ankle?
Yes, exactly. I was really with so much doubt. I had this really intense feeling that I want to post this, and then this whole doubt, doubting myself would come. Like, how are you going to do this? What is this person going to think? What is this person going to think? You're not going to be able to find a regular job. I don't know. There's so many stories, and like, I was doubting myself so much. I ended up being exhausted. I went out the house, and I was so, in my head, so out of my body, so out of this present moment, because I was doubting myself so much that I that I fell in the most stupid way, and I sprained my ankle, and I was like,
your uncle?
My she makes a lot of fun of my ankle.
Sprain your ankle?
How do you pronounce it?
No, it's good.
Okay.
Uncle, but you say uncle.
Okay.
Like ankle. And you say...
Well, I sprained my toe.
Ankle.
The joint. The joint between my foot and the rest of my leg.
Yes.
That I sprained it.
Yes. Our Spanish viewers will understand what this is all about.
Yes. So, and I realized, like, later also talking to you, like, I was literally feeling that I cannot hold the weight of my own body. Like, I'm doubting myself so much that I'm not even sure if I can hold myself. But I ended up so exhausted of that, so exhausted of this internal war with myself, that I thought, okay, I'm going to post it, because whatever happens, like whatever people say about this, whatever consequence that might have on the outside, is not going to be as bad as being in this situation with myself, as having this internal, like horror, like this and that. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it, because whatever happens, I prefer, to be at peace with myself than...
Yeah, because it's basically, you say you are at peace with yourself, because that's what it's always been, between the relationship between you and you. It's never about the outside world. There are no other people, and you cannot know what other people are thinking. It's only about being honest with yourself. That's what you're doing. When you're honest with yourself. When you're lying to other people, you're lying to yourself.
To yourself, yes.
When you're dishonest with other people, you are dishonest with yourself.
Yes.
And this is why that question, is this absolutely true, is such a good, very, like, applicable. Yes. She ruined my English. Applicable.
Yeah, but that's the problem of knowing many languages. Let's say it's that.
Yeah, exactly. So multilingual.
Exactly.
But it's actually you are living. You're the one who is living whatever you're saying. And I was actually having an observation about the I love you thing.
Mm-hmm.
When you say I love you to someone, right, the ego, the normal people who need affection, who need validation, who feel unworthy, right, they're gonna be like, and I hope you love me too. I mean, I love you, but do you love me back?
Mm-hmm.
That would suck if you wouldn't love me. But truly, when you go beyond this separation, when you just let go of the ego and you go beyond this needs, wants, desires, you realize that it's actually still about you and you. It's not about you and the other person because you are the one that is feeling the love.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
And the answer to that would be congratulations. I'm so happy for you. It has nothing to do with me. If you love me, it means you are the one who is experiencing love, and it's so beautiful, so enjoy it. And here is where the definition of love goes, like, what people think love is.
Exactly.
It's is what usually people think love is needing the attention, right? Or needing the validation.
Attachment.
Yes. Right? So that's not love, right? That's
exactly.
That's neediness. That's you need it.
And that's it's all about you're trying to put like conditions, like I love you, but only if you love me back. I love you, but only if you promise that you will be with me for the rest of your life. I love you, but only if you, I don't know, praise me. I love you, and you're putting conditions to why you love other person, but that's not real love.
Yeah, it's just limitation. It's the ego playing in its limitation, in its limited realm. Just fun. But what's the difference between I wanted to make this video for such a long time about the difference between the ego and the ego, and I haven't, but we've touched upon many things in this video. I forgot what I wanted to say.
But I want to say something.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes, that actually this, going back to what we were saying, that there are really no other people, and that everything is related to the love with yourself. And when you put conditions to the love that you express and that you give and that you feel to someone else, it's because really you're putting a lot of conditions and a lot of barriers to your self-love. Mm-hmm. So when we do this with ourselves, I love myself, but only, if I get validation from other people. I love myself, but only if I am productive and I finish X tasks per day. I love myself, but only if I have if I weigh X kilos or pounds. I love myself, and we start putting so much conditions on the love that we feel for ourselves, then is when we start needing things from the outside. We need this person to tell us that we look pretty every day, and otherwise I don't love you, or you have betrayed me, or this is bad, and it all comes from there. We are not, we have all these conditions, all these barriers, all these hide and seek games within ourselves, and then of course we translate all that mess with the rest of the people, and we have shitty relationships.
Yeah, exactly. It's this projection, this limitation. So exhausting.
Yes.
It's so exhausting to live like that. And oh yes, I remembered what I wanted to say about the ego and we go. It's like, it's not duality is bad, right? I'm not saying that duality is bad. Duality is an experience to have. It's a way for consciousness to experience herself in duality. Duality is awesome. Separation was freaking needed. How could consciousness, who is all, I am all that I am omnipresent, I am omniscient, I am all that I am. How could consciousness have known herself if it wasn't for this duality that was created? So the consciousness could send out a drone, I wanted to say, like, to send out like an extension to be in separation, so consciousness could perceive herself from out there and
exactly,
see,
like a mirror.
I am all that I am. And then everything you experience, it's such a rejoice. Like, oh my God, I am this and this and this and this and all of this. And it's just love, right? But then you go into separation, and then you get even more separate, and then get even more focused and more focused. And it's like so much gravity and separation and gravity and separation that you really forget who you are, which is what aspects are. You forget who you are, and then you act out erratic, and you're searching for the love and acceptance that you already are, right? So you play, you play, you play, you play, you play in duality until at one point you gain all the wisdom that you could ever gain, because you had no wisdom before. When you were just consciousness, like, I know who I am, I got knowingness, I ain't got no wisdom. And then you go into separation, which is awesome. You see all that you are, you get all the wisdom. And when you have enough wisdom, a book falls on your head or whatever, and you start to have your spiritual awakening and remember who you are, and you bring all that wisdom back into you, and then you also start to remember, to remember,
Remember,
to remember.
which is put the pieces together, actually.
Oh yeah, one member.
Exactly.
Member. When you take a person and you cut it like that.
Exactly, you put everything together. You integrate all the aspects. Yeah. You integrate all your past lives. You integrate everything, and then as a result, you start exactly remembering.
Yeah, and this is the death, basically. This is the death process, because it feels like the death, right? It's the ego, which is still in separation with the stories, let's say, like the old identity. For many of Shambra, who is basically my audience, it's like the last lifetime choosing realization aspect, which is still like an aspect, and it's still in the ego stuff. There's still like the aspect that gets you where you're going, but then at one point, right, it got you where you were going. You wisdomized everything, all the stories, you know what's happening. It keeps you on the track, right? It doesn't let you get distracted by this and by that, a relationship, a career, whatever. And then you find yourself in, like, you think that if you start this spiritual journey, your human life is gonna get a lot better. But then you realize that you're gonna die. Everything you thought you were, it's like a dissolution.
Yes,
everything is dissolved out of yourself.
Exactly.
And that is the death process. That is the no self. So you go from old self to no self, right? You go from duality to nothingness, the void, which you get really fucking scared. You have no passion to live. You don't know who you are. The depression. You want to talk more about this?
Yeah. I mean, I've experienced some of, that, the initial going into the void, and I had actually an episode like not long ago, maybe 4 or 5 days ago, that as I had been, working with you, doing breathing sessions and basically allowing more of myself to come in, more of my light to come in, I was like, part of me was really seeing like, okay, my human identity is really nothing. I am God also, but my human identity is not God. It's just a piece of God, let's say. And then I was literally feeling the I am so much on one side of me. Like, part of me I was completely in the I am, and completely seeing how I am consciousness. That's what I'm made of, and that's why I can say I am God also, because I am just consciousness. But then I was feeling also my human identity inside, and saying like, I am literally nothing. Like, my identity doesn't mean anything. I'm just like I don't know, some kind of flowy stuff. That I don't matter at all. And my identity is what I thought. My identity is not God. Also, it's just like a speck of a speck of a speck of a speck. And then I was in my I am, and at the same time crying because my human identity was like, I don't matter, I am not God, I am nothing. And I was like crying, like very dramatic, and at the same time having in myself this, this knowingness and this sensation of the I am that was like, everything is going to be okay. like
Because you know who you are.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so it was very interesting because I was like having both experiences at the same time. And it's true, like the human has to pass, and
This is the
this
free, like
time.
the human realizes that the free will that the human think it had, it's not really
Yes.
that free. And that's when you let the famous saying, you let go and you let God, right? The human lets go of the perceived, the illusory sense of free will, and you let God, which you are God, you let God take over. And this is happening in the void, like in the second step. And then from here, once you know who you are, you're gonna stay here for a while, and you're gonna ground this knowingness of who you are. Maybe stay in isolation for a while and not engage with other people and whatever. And from there, you can emerge, emerge. I got it right.
Emerge.
Emerge into the new life, into the new sense of identity. You could even say, but this is the we-go, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the human who accepted, I have no freaking control over this. I mean, you're done crying, you cry, you cry, you cry,
Yes.
you cry, and then you're done crying because you exhaust yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're gonna be like, okay, God, I'm gonna let go and let God. Now what? And that's when you basically accepted and integrated your wisdom, and you're open to your energy because you know you are also energy, and you open to it, and you open to everything, and you trust yourself. And that's when the fun begins, basically, because you're gonna go back in duality, you're gonna go back into the world, but knowing who you are. So you're not going to have experiences of lack and depression and anxiety and doubt and all that, because you know who you are, right? You know who you are.
Yeah.
So that's when the fun begins. That's when you actually start to have fun in this life and to explore new things, and to you're rebirthing yourself. You die in the void, and then you rebirth yourself, which you were feeling, right?
Yes,
you
I
were
was
pregnant with yourself.
exactly when we started working. I was literally feeling like I was pregnant, and I was like carrying, my new self, and I was bloated in my belly. I had like these sensations, weird sensations, even physical. Felt like I'm literally pregnant with myself, and in a way it's true. But then something that I would like to mention is that it's not like a real birth, like a physical birth where you just like you pop out and that's it. And
Yeah.
it's a process in which at the same time that you are birthing yourself, you are dying. Your
Yeah.
old identity is dying. And something that I'm experiencing now is that there's going to be some back and forth between your new self and your old self. Like I go to sleep one day as my past self named Rebecca, and I wake up as AmiRa, or the opposite. And whenever I'm in AmiRa, even Rebecca is in with this part of like, okay, I don't want this to go away. I want to, because I'm confident. I know who I am. I am in joy. I am at peace, and but then there is a comeback. Let's say at the beginning.
There's this transition period
Exactly.
where this happens.
Exactly, because
it's
you're
a transition period.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, it's the transition,
Mhm.
and at one point it's not gonna be that much back and forth. And
Yeah.
even if the aspects are gonna come, or you're gonna feel the old identity, because it's like you were saying, you're dying and you're rebirthing yourself constantly. You're an infinite being, right? You're an infinite being. How can this be like the end? Like I die once and then I rebirth and then that's it. That would be fucking stupid.
No, it's a constant thing, and but I feel like for the human, for the human identity, the identity that is like I want my realization, and I want to. For me, it's like I want to go in the void, and I was like, okay, I go into the void, I jump, and then that's it, and then I'm in no personality, and then I emerge, and it is like that, but not exactly like that. There is, you need to go back and forth, and you need to accept every part of the process.
And it's not linear.
Exactly.
Right? It's not linear, because
That's
that's why, like, one day you're like this and one day you're like that. You're feeling all of it. It's going in circles. It's not
mm-hmm.
really defined.
That's
Like,
it.
2 years doing this, 2 years, and then 2 years. They blend with each other, and
Yes.
then they're like this, and they're days, and they're days like this.
Yes.
So it's a dance.
It's a dance. Exactly.
It's a dance, and at
It's a dance.
first, it's a dance where you. I remember from my salsa days when I was dancing with the teacher and everybody else, and I was trying to control it, even though I was the woman, the lady, and I was supposed to be led. I would be like, I would be so strong. The teacher would be like, oh my god, I'm working my biceps to hold this. Like, relax, let me guide you. And I would say that is a nice analogy, that you, at first, when the ego thinks it's still in charge, it's going to try to force its way through life and through energy and all that. And then at one point, you just let go and you let yourself be led. And that's when it's humanity and divinity combined together. That's the ego, right?
Yeah. And so you need to trust yourself.
So that's a lot of trust.
You need to trust yourself that you are going to be able to react to what life is presenting you, to what your soul wants you to do, and you need to trust your soul and your I am, that they are going to lead you into where you need to be.
Yeah.
And be open. Something that you always say, like, be open to your energy, be open to whatever comes. Allow, the famous.
So that's what the yourself is about. It's not talking about the ego self, the little ego, little s self, which is showing itself, but it's about allowing that self to die, so that the new self, the new you, can come up to the surface.
Yes. And one thing that I think it's important to mention, I don't like, when you're showing yourself to yourself or when you're showing yourself to the others, is that there's no purpose. There's no purpose on doing it. Either when you have your realization and you have to see, you let go of the purpose of, like, I'm not going to do this to have more money. I'm not going to do this to, be a master and, like, impress other people. No, there's no purpose. You do it because you feel this is what you need to do. You do it because you are becoming. And then
you cannot hold it within. You just have to express it. You have to birth yourself. It's like, and you vomit a rainbow.
and you need to let go of your small human purposes and expectations to why you are doing your journey. And you need to also let go, once you're going to show yourself to other people, to the purpose of, like, okay, I want to show this so that I get many likes, or that these people praises me, or whatever. You need to let go of the purpose.
And you felt that when you were flirting with the idea of starting the podcast initially.
Yes,
it was coming from passion, but then the ego starts to grasp onto it, and
yes,
like, oh, how am I gonna be a very famous podcaster? And what's my purpose, and what am I gonna say? And then I remember you were saying, I'm afraid, what if I talk about my life? What if I actually talk about my past, and I actually don't want people to know what I've done? That is still the ego. That is not your true self. That wants to show itself.
Yes, and even when you say, I do these videos and I'm in service, but to be in service, you cannot be a servant. And this, Adamos talked about this. So it's important, like, I was also thinking, like, what would people want to listen? What do they need? What of my wisdom do I need? Or wisdom, or what of my problems do I need to tell them about, so that they can relate? And as long as you are putting the focus on that, on what others, help, even if it's just helping others, but
no bueno.
No bueno. No, because then exactly you're coming from this servant energy and from this agenda. That's it. When you're in service, you're just letting whatever comes up to come up.
Yeah.
And but to do that, you have to do it with no purpose. I'm not going to do this so that I help X people, or that I get X money, or no. I'm just going to do it because of the action itself, to express myself, to share it with the rest of the world. That's it.
Yeah. And remember that you were having this question in the beginning.
Check that meme. It's funny.
I think my man will introduce it here if I'm allowed to.
in the beginning, in the beginning, yeah, in the uh, in the
Listen properly.
in the beginning.
In the beginning, you were like, yeah, but why? What's my purpose? Why am I gonna have this podcast?
Mm-hmm.
You were really literally like asking yourself, like, but why do I do it? Because if I am this in this blissful state, I you were the human was thinking, right? The mind was trying to think, how is it gonna be if I go into the void and go on the other side?
Yes.
And trying to give me the prescription for it. How is it gonna happen? Tell me the steps. So if I let go, how am I gonna have the passion? Where does it gonna come from?
Yeah. Exactly. I was thinking, what am I going to talk about if I am in the no self, and then what am I going to talk about? But
Yeah, and
it just comes like even when you're in the no self, you're still consciousness, and consciousness is constantly in motion. Consciousness
yeah,
is changing, is transformation without transformation, with but it's constantly moving because it's alive. It's life itself. And
yes,
so something will come up because that's how God works. It's creating all the time. It's expressing itself all the time with no agenda, with no purpose.
yeah.
And you have to really allow that. And that's scary. And that is a death
It's
of the
constant death.
human, because the human is very never does things just to do, just to
Mm-hmm.
be.
Mm-hmm.
Human does,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, and yeah, it's you unravel yourself, and from this new point of self, you start to explore, which is um
yes.
which is very nice how Kutumi put it in the class that we're going to hold in January 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Unraveling realization, exploring the infinite mystery of the I am that I am. It's not, the journey never stops. It's not even a journey. It's, you stop being on a journey and you're just being, and you are constantly becoming, and you are constantly birthing yourself, and there's a
Dying.
constant death, and then you're constantly birthing yourself. This is what opening up to your energy is about. This is what receiving is about. You receive the light of your consciousness, which is going to shine into all of the pockets, the dark pockets, all the rooms of your beingness, where there has been no light, where there's unworthiness and lack and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And you open the doors and the light comes in, and then you know more of who you are. And then when you don't have all those hindrances that are holding you back, you can just be in the world, and then you explore even more of who you are, and it's just unraveling, and then you unravel, and then you unravel. So that's what we're going to do. You're going to be there with us.
Yes, I'm going to be.
We already have
I'm
a
very
few
excited.
people. I haven't really talked about this much.
Okay.
But I think now it's a good time to introduce it.
Yes.
This class is going to be in January, 6 months from January 2024 to June 2024, with Kutumi, Sarah, or Lauren Hutton, if you guys know her, and me, myself, with the topic of unraveling realization and exploring the infinite mystery of the I am that I am. And we already have almost half of the places. We have 8 places. I've talked with Sarah, and we might open up to 10 places.
Mm-hmm.
We already have 3 or 4 places that are occupied. And I'm actually gonna make a separate video with Kutumi and Sarah, where we talk exactly about what's gonna be there. But it's gonna be very personal. Whoever shows up, we're going to address specifically exactly where you are, what you're going through, and how we can go even further, right? Sarah has this passion to go further. She is joined with Kutumi, who has been on has stayed on Earth after his realization, right, for 24 years. So he kind of knows some stuff, what's what. And we share, all of us, we share this passion to explore, to teach, to talk about, to share, to be with you, to join together, and to create beautiful passageways for all of humanity, and to have fun, right? It's nice to have people with the same consciousness and opening, and to hang out with them. And that's what we're gonna do. Private calls, yeah, I'm gonna give more details about that in another video, but
Mhm.
that's about it. If you feel like you want to be there, you can always contact me or go to my website. We have a special page on Reveling Realization on my website. You can read more about that, and I'm also going to, like I said, make a video with Kutumi and Sarah specifically about this, so you can see more what's what. What's what?
Yes. And if you go there, I'll be in the group.
Yeah, you will also get to meet AmiRa and talk to her and other amazing beings, ladies who have already signed up. We're gonna have fun, of course. It's all about
Yes.
fun.
Yes.
And you guys know Kutumi. It's all about fun. Always so much fun with Kutumi and seriousness and going beyond the mind.
That's a big one, yeah.
Yeah. So, we can kind of wrap it up, or do you want to say something more? Do you want to have a conclusion about, because you've been going through this thing, right, from the ego, and we've been working together for many months.
Yes.
I think since before the Heavens Cross,
Mhm.
when I wanted to quit, and you knocked at my door and forced
Like,
me
please assist me.
Yeah. And then we've
Yeah.
started ever since. And can you do like a reevaluation of yourself and a look back and see how much you've changed, and if you have any wisdom to share for yourself and for whoever might be watching,
Yeah.
and how you are now in regard to showing yourself.
So I think something that it's coming up right now is to let go of the thinking that this is a journey with a destination, and I'm going to arrive to this is the checkpoints. I have to go to the I allow until I have the no self, and then this and then that. No, every single day. That's linear thinking. That's duality. That's all the things that we want to let go of. So it's very good to have like this passion to advance, and I really had it. Like I want to, go, 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 go. But in a way, you also have to forget about this. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the journey. This is very important. Enjoy every state of your being. That's the thing. Don't think that you are already a master. You are already realized. You are already in your new life, and you are also even before your awakening. It's all happening at the same time. So just accept every part of the journey. Accept every part, because that's part of accepting every part of yourself. So that's one thing. And then exactly open up to you in order to be able to open up to the others. Show yourself to yourself first. And then it will be much easier to show yourself to the others, because there's where you see there are no others. And so yeah, but I would say, if I have like from this whole experience, something that I'm starting to accept is just like, I am perfect right now. Can you allow yourself to be perfect right now, with nothing to change, nothing to improve, nothing to pursue? Nope, this is a road trip, and you have to enjoy the, even if you know that you want to go here or there or there, and it's good to have like that focus to go somewhere. If you are not enjoying and you are not accepting every part of your journey, you're gonna regret it.
Yeah, nicely put. And I'm so happy to see your transformation, right, for so many months, and the fact that you came here in person. It was so lovely to meet you and to see you blossom and bloom, and I'm just so happy to have this first episode of showing yourself with you. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
I'm also very grateful that I did this, that I had your assistance, that I felt the worthiness that I can do this, and I'm going to do this. It has been super beautiful. It has been the most beautiful thing that has happened in my life ever. And yeah.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Anything else we should add? I think.
Yes,
I
we
think
have talked a lot already. It's been
yeah,
almost
I
an
think
hour.
it's been, yeah,
so-
59 minutes, but with the bloopers also. And we
Yeah.
had the weather. We had the weather. It was very stormy today.
Mhm.
It's like her last days here, and I wanted to record this before she went away, and we wanted to do it today, and it's been raining so bad, and then at one point, the sky here started to become blue, and we're like, "Is this the moment?" And so yeah,
Yes.
it was wonderful to have nature
Yes.
with us and make this beautiful space. And yeah, this is just the first episode of Show Yourself. I'm gonna have more guests. I have another video which I recorded with my dear friend Nicole that I'm also going to post after this, and maybe, who knows, maybe the next videos are going to be with one of you that you would like to show yourself and yeah, hang out. Why not? This is a project that I've been wanting to do for, I think, last year. I started to record the intro for this, but then I didn't do it. I didn't feel it was appropriate then, but now with you, I felt it was really good to start this. So this was it. If you want to connect with AmiRa, I'm going to put here somewhere her Instagram or something. So if you want to connect with her,
Okay.
if you want to connect with me, you know where I am and how to find me. If you want any details about the January class with Kutumi and Sarah, I'm also going to put it in the description box, the link to my website and all that. If you have any questions, shoot them at me, at us. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining and for being with us today, for tuning in. We had a lot of fun. I really
Yes.
had fun.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
it was really cool to show ourselves, to come here and shine and radiate, and thank you.
Yes.
Good time. Let
Good
the good
time.
times roll. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And also, I invite you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see this future videos.
Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Alright? Right? Please subscribe.
Subscribe.
Namaste.
How are you? Our hair is looking.
What is it? And also, gonna be in the bloopers. You realize that, yeah?
In the way?
Bloopers. That's bloopers.
No. Oh, you want that?
It was recording.